while the Democrats, I mean, this is happening right now as we speak. AOC's talking about it now, are trying to defund the police. They are continuing those efforts while cities crumble, while we see mass shootings. Guess who shows up when there's an active shooter? Not the feds. They show up after the fact. But they're not the first call. The first call is the local police. But they've said, we don't want a militarized local police. But guess who they want to militarize? The IRS. Now, we talked to you about how the IRS wanted to add 1,200 new agents, and they put up the ad again, the employment ad again, said you've got to be willing to shoot to kill, machine guns, automatic weapons, and they show a law enforcement official with full SWAT team tactical gear on. And now we know from the IRS, a report, and this is an official government report, that the IRS has been stockpiling weapons, ammunition and combat gear, $10 million of ammunition and combat gear since 2020.
Before you go further, my first job out of law school was with Chief Counsel's Office of Treasury for the IRS. IRS was our client. The idea of weaponized IRS agents at this level, I mean, there were some special agents that would carry a weapon if they were doing a particular, security kind of thing too.
Like at your office.
Yeah, because we had incidents occasionally. But here, you're talking about, when you say $10 million, here's what they have. $2.3 million on ammunition, $1.2 million on ballistic shields, $474,000 on Smith & Wesson rifles, $463,000 on Berettas, 1301 tactical shotguns, and $240,000 on body armor vests. This is the IRS, and then they have $1.3 million of various other gear for criminal investigation agents.
Yeah, and what this gets to, again, is
weaponization.
They're not supposed to be the front line of a raid.
That's the FBI.
The FBI does that for them, and then they come in after that is secured to take the data. We're not talking about having security guards at IRS offices. That's not what automatic weapons are for. That's not what body armor is for. That's not what a tactical shotgun is not used for, protecting an office or IRS employees. We also looked up, the IRS has never had an agent die in any kind of a shooting incident. Well, they've had only 4 deaths in their criminal division of agents. 2 were heart attacks on the job. 2 were a car accident that was not even related to a chase or anything like that. So they don't even have a history of saying,
let me tell you something
else.
They didn't have enforcement. So when they issue a subpoena, or what they call request for the production of documents, an information request, they don't have enforcement power. The IRS has to go to the Department of Justice. My office would be originating the document request. And then if I wanted to get it enforced, when I was with Treasury, I had to call Andy Economo's office, the U.S. Attorney's office, for the enforcement of that subpoena. And if there was a criminal matter and it was a dangerous criminal matter, they would send in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who has, by the way, a criminal division on tax.
Right.
So the problem here is the weaponization of a federal agency. Yep. Is the EPA now weaponized? I'm sure.
Well, I mean, that's what we figure out. But they won't add more border agents.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that's going to be a disaster next week. Title 42 is coming to a close. So we know that they're giving $10 billion over for the IRS. They want to add their 1,200 new special agents. This is what it says in their job listing. As a special agent, I mean, how many people have this skill? Combine your accounting skill with law enforcement skills to investigate financial crimes. These are the people that are supposed to be accountants willing to shoot to kill.
Yes.
That does not seem like the same person.
No, and it doesn't seem like there'd be a big market for that.
No, but they think they can have an additional 1,200 to their addition. That's additional 2,000. So they're going to have a 3,000 person automatic weapon army at the IRS?
Well, the problem is, though...
That's what they're trying to build.
Yeah, but the problem is, this is the federal government
knocking on your
weaponizing another agency. And what we have to look at in all of this is the weaponization of the agency itself. What is it that causes the government to think that arming these kind of agencies, civil enforcement agencies for the most part, why would you be weaponizing them? What would be the point of it? And it goes back to... It ties right into the disinformation campaign that we're in federal court. I want to launch an investigation of this. I want to launch an investigation of the IRS's criminal division as it relates to weaponization. And I mean, when I'm talking about weaponization, I'm not talking about political weaponization. I'm talking about actual weaponization. Yeah, we need to know why are they doing this? Who is authorizing this? What are the memos that are sending forth what these policies are? I'd like to know who drafted that job description. your accounting skills with your ability
we know that
to,
IRS showed up
use a weapon.
To Matt Taibbi's door. So the next time they show up to your door, they're going to show up with automatic weapons? That seems like a more dangerous situation. It's not like they get a phone call at the IRS and say, we need you immediately. There's an active crime going on or an active shooter investigation. So the same people that want to take these kind of weapons away from our police departments,
yes,
who do have to respond to those phone calls.
They love weaponizing
Lord
federal
knows,
agencies.
there were 2 in Georgia yesterday.
Yeah.
2 going on. 1 in Atlanta, 1 in Moultrie, Georgia. Who got the call? Not the IRS, not even the FBI. It was local police who got there first.
Moultrie had an issue?
Yeah, there was a person there killed 2 family members, their employer at McDonald's, and then themselves. 4 people. I mean, that's a lot for a city like that.
That's a small town.
It didn't get as much news at first because there was the guy running around Atlanta.
Yeah, you had the Atlanta thing, and then Moultrie, where your mother's family's from, that area.
Yeah, I mean, So I saw in the news, I was like, there was another shooting there yesterday? And what I'm saying is, who's on the front lines of that? We were here in Nashville, there was a school shooting. It's the local Nashville Metro PD. They showed up and killed the shooter. By the time that ATF and FBI show up,
it's to investigate after the fact.
Right. The dangerous situation has actually been calmed down. But if you do need to do a raid, can't the IRS call the FBI?
That's how it is done, actually,
Jordan.
Jordan.
They say, we need you.
They coordinate it with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who does the criminal enforcement. But here's what I want to tell people. When we uncover these issues, folks, and investigate them, we are actually taking legal action to do this. We actually went to federal court. I'm holding in my hand the federal lawsuit that we filed in federal court. There it is on the screen as well. This is the federal lawsuit on this issue of these intel officials going to I know it sounds crazy, going to the social media companies and telling them, hey, look, don't talk about this Hunter Biden thing. It's Russian disinformation. And, of course, all the social media companies did exactly what the FBI said. During an election, by the way, used as a debate point by the then Democratic nominee for president, Joe Biden, taking place while Donald Trump was actually president of the United States. You realize that? Is that sinking in, everybody? To show you how deep that deep state is? Trump was the president and this was going on. That's why your support of the ACLJ is so critical. We're in federal court to uncover this and to get action and hold people accountable because of you. Support the work of the ACLJ at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.